In this video, we will be answering these questions. What is a helper checkmate? How do pieces help when checkmating in chess? And why does a piece need help when checkmating in chess? Please make sure you watch the previous videos on chess before this one, because you'll learn many more concepts in chess which will turn you from zero to hero. I will leave the link of those chess videos in the description below. Now, onto the video. Today, we are going to be learning all about checkmating, or really learning why you need help to mate. We're going to be doing a helper checkmate with all the pieces, and it'll all be covered in 2 positions as well as a bonus one. Here we go. In this first position, if it is black's turn, and black decides to try to checkmate the white king, and takes the pawn on the square g7 with the queen, it's not mate. It's not mate. How? Because while white can't protect or run away, white can capture. And now you've lost your best piece and you're losing. That's not very fun. So, what if I decide to bring a bishop into the mix? A bishop on d4. Now, notice how you might have noticed that black can take both of white's knights, they're both being forked. Well, you actually can't, because both the knights are protecting each other. The knight on d2 is protecting the knight on e4. So if you decide to take the knight on the square on e4, then the knight on d2 would take you. And if you decide to take the knight on d2, then the knight on e4 would take you. A bit complicated, but both knights are protecting each other, which is why you shouldn't take either one of them. Now, if white didn't see what was coming and tries to target this pawn on a2, notice how it's not a check because the pawn is protecting the king. We can swoop down or up and take the pawn on g7. And now it is mate, because the king white cannot protect or run away, and white can't capture this time because the bishop is protecting the queen, and if you try to take, you'll be put in a check, and that's not allowed. You're not allowed to put your king in check. So that's a mate with the bishop and the queen. But let's say it's black's turn. Let's say it's black's turn, and the queen is on h1 and tries to bring the queen to g2 to try to go for mate in 1. Let's say that white does see what's coming, and white can actually checkmate himself, because if white moves the rook to b1, it's mate. The king can't protect because there is no gap between the king and the rook. The king can't run away because the one square the king can go to is being protected by the rook, and you can't take either because the knight's guarding the rook. Funny enough, this pawn is literally stopping black from escaping. So, yeah, now you know not to hoard pawns all the time. Okay, in the second position, we're going to be checkmating with a pawn, or really being assisted by a pawn. Currently, if it is white's move and white pushes the pawn to g5, it's mate in 1. Well, maybe mate in 2, but it's mate very soon. How? Because even if black tries to take, you see what's happening here? The white queen is targeting at the king, black king, and it would be mate. Not mate, check. Sorry. And you're not allowed to put your king in check. Now, the best thing black can do is the black king can't run away because the rook is basically putting over a fence. So the best move, the only move you can do to delay the mate is to move. It's a sort of sacrifice the knight and put it on e2. But once you take, it's gonna be a forced mate because if black tries to do anything, well, we can just take. So yeah, that's mate. Now it's time for the bonus position. In this position, pause your videos and figure out how can white checkmate in one move. Pause your videos and figure it out. Okay, if you're back, the beautiful, the absolutely gorgeous mate is knight to c6, and it's mate. The black king can't protect with anything because nothing is being able to protect the king because you can't protect yourself from knights. You can't capture because the white bishop, the black bishop is stuck, being trapped by its own pawn. So it can't go to the square d5, but either way it would still be mate. The black can't run away because both of the squares c8 and e8 are both guarded, one by the bishop, the other by the knight. A beautiful mate. So, now that you've learned how to checkmate with more than one piece, all you need to do is practice, practice, practice to master it. Write down your top learning in the comment box below. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!